A few years ago, people started noticing something unusual about Andrew Garfield's hair. Not that he was losing it, but that it somehow looked better over time. And the more you compare photos side by side, it almost looks like two different hairlines. Was it genetics, styling, modern hair treatments, or something else entirely? And what makes it even more interesting is that his family reportedly has a history of early hair loss. So what actually changed? If you look at Andrew Garfield in the late 2000s and early 2010s, there are subtle signs of temporal recession beginning to appear. Nothing extreme, but enough to slightly change how his hair frames his face. And most people wouldn't notice this in real time. We only see it clearly when images are placed side by side across different years. And when that happens, small differences start to stand out. By the late 2010s, his hairline appears slightly more mature. Still strong, still dense, but not identical to earlier years.
Then something interesting happens. In more recent appearances, his hair appears sharper again, more structured, more youthful in framing. And this creates a perception shift, because hair doesn't need to dramatically change to look different. Small adjustments in cut, length, volume, texture, and styling direction can completely change how a hairline is perceived. Even identical density can look like a different head of hair depending on presentation. And that's why this effect is so powerful on camera. One possible explanation is early maintenance strategies. There are treatments commonly used to slow the progression of male pattern hair loss by reducing the activity of DHT, the hormone linked to follicle miniaturization. In simple terms, they help preserve existing hair for longer. And when started early enough, they can maintain density in a way that looks almost unchanged for years. However, these treatments are generally more about preservation than transformation. So any visible improvement people think they see is usually a combination of natural variation, styling, professional grooming, lighting conditions, and long-term maintenance habits, especially in film environments where hair is constantly styled and controlled.
Another theory is modern hair transplantation. Today's techniques allow extremely refined work on temple areas, hairline edges, and density balancing. But in cases like this, there's no obvious sign of major restoration work, which makes a more subtle explanation more likely. Not a full transformation, but small refinements over time. And that approach is actually becoming more common among public figures, not waiting for significant hair loss, but maintaining and subtly enhancing what already exists. So what actually explains the change? The most realistic answer is that it's not one thing. It's a combination. Hair appearance is influenced by genetics, natural aging patterns, preventative care, styling techniques, hair density behavior, and camera environment. And when all of these align, even small changes can look surprisingly significant. Because hair doesn't just affect hair, it changes how the entire face is perceived. Age, structure, confidence, even personality.
What this really shows is how much control hair has over overall appearance. And for most people, the goal isn't to chase perfection. It's to maintain what they already have for as long as possible. For anyone who is starting to notice early thinning or simply wants to better understand their options, there are a few widely used approaches people explore, from medically studied treatments to cosmetic styling solutions that improve the appearance of density. Things like topical treatments, hair maintenance routines, and styling techniques can make a noticeable difference when used consistently and appropriately. I'll leave a few general resources linked in the description if you want to explore. So I'm curious, do you think this was mostly styling and maintenance, or something more? And which celebrity should be analyzed next?